Welcome to this week's edition of Meta Market Weekly. I am your co-host Justin, along with Fernando, and we're excited to be here. What's up, Fernando? How you doing?
Hey, Justin, I'm doing great. As always, I'm very excited to be here. Today's podcast is going to be an interesting one. As usual, we're going to be talking a little bit about the price movement of the market. We're going to talk about several other topics, something that's going on with the SEC, other cryptocurrencies. So, yeah, as usual, it's going to be very informative, and I hope all of our viewers enjoy it.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it. The markets have been quite interesting lately, a little up, a little
Yeah.
down, kind of volatile. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we've been you know how they call it a bear market and a bull market. When it's like this, I like to call it a crab market, it's going sideways.
Yep,
So
totally.
we're kind of going through a crab market right now. And yeah, let's start with my analysis. Let me bring my trading view here. Great. So give me a second. Okay, so I got some charts here set up for what I'm expecting the market to do. First of all, let me tell you and everyone that I feel like the market right now is very positive. Right now, the sentiment is, I don't want to say greedy, but I want to say positive. A lot of people are jumping back into the market. However, right now, actually today, we hit a very important mark, which was $25,200. If you can see here on August 15 of 2012, I'm sorry, 2022, we hit this resistance and we are there right now. So this is very important. For those of you who are not familiar, when we're going up and we hit a level with another bar, this is called a resistance. And when we're going down and we hit level with another bar, this is called a support. So we've already overcome 1, 2, 3, 4 resistances. So this resistance was at 18,300, and this is when I bought, because this, when you overcome a resistance level, it is usually an indicator that the market is going now on a different trend. So it's not 100%, but once we broke this resistance, we broke the next resistance, which was 21,400. So this was clearly a very positive indicator that the market movement is going to a different direction. Then we broke 22,500, and now we're at 25,200. So this is very important, because if we break this level, we already touched it, but it got rejected. So right now we're like at let me move this. We're at 24,900. So we're very close to the resistance level again. And if we break it and we go all the way to 26K, this is very bullish, because the next resistance that we have is all the way up to here at 32K. So if we break this, like I said, it's very positive. We have a clear path all the way to 32K. And I think things are looking very good. And the reason why is, let me show you. So there's certain indicators from the market that tell you when the market sentiment or the trend is moving on a different direction. So if we look at the GDP for the past 4 quarters, so quarter 1 and 2 of 2002 were negative, and we can see it reflected on the market. It kept going down. And then quarter 3 and 4 of 2022 were positive. So that's when we started seeing that the market it calmed down and it started moving to the other direction. So this is actually good, because usually when the GDP starts being negative and it starts moving to the other direction, that's when we start to see the markets recovering. So just as expected, you know, the GDP started moving positive and we started to see the market moving positive. Then we have the CPI. So the CPI measures inflation, how much inflation we're having year to year, and we measure it every month. So for the last couple of months, you know, we reached an all-time high on, I think it was July. We reached a 9%, which is the highest ever we've ever had. And every month, gradually, little by little, it's been decreasing. So, I mean, it's funny because when we report, when the Fed reports these numbers and they see that, you know, we're at a 6%, people celebrate, you know, because it's going down. But there's actually nothing to celebrate because the numbers are still super high. You know, 6% per year, that's completely unacceptable. I mean,
That's not the
yeah,
real numbers either.
exactly. And you know, exactly, you just nailed it. So that those are not even the real numbers. But if they're reporting these numbers, which, you know, are actually a lot higher than they've been previously, you know, in the previous recession of 2008, the highest was 5%, and right now it's 9%. But I agree entirely with what you just said, that, I mean, you don't have to be a financial expert to understand inflation. You just have to go to the supermarket and compare how much you paid for a dozen of eggs 2 years ago and how much you're paying for one right now, and you're gonna see that the actual number is over 100%. So regardless, you know, it's a lie, but regardless, their number reporting is going down. And when they report these numbers, they have an impact on the market. And you can see it here. Actual less than forecast, I'm sorry, is good for crypto. And we saw it, you know, the last time that we had the actual reporting of the CPI was on February 14, which was this week. And that's when we saw the price of Bitcoin. It started to go up. So let me show you real quick on the daily. So this was the 14th of February. Since the reporting was positive, you can see that, you know, the 15, the 16, the 17, and so on, it started to go up. So this is actually good because the trend of the market is already starting to look bullish. And we don't have anything new to report from the Fed all the way till, let me show you. No, this is not important. All the way to the 14th of March. So we have a month, a full month of no reporting from the Fed that has impact on the market. So this is good because the last report was positive. So we have all the way from here to the 14th of March to expect growth. If on the 14th of March, the numbers are negative, then we can expect the market to go down. If the numbers on the 14th of March are positive, then we can expect the market to keep going up. So this is very important. And not just the CPI, also I wanted to talk about the interest rates. So the CPI, the interest rates, and the GDP reporting always have an impact on the market. If the reporting is, you know, above what was expected, the market will go down. If it's below what it was expected, the market will go up. And this is not just with crypto. You can see it with S&P 500. You can see it with gold. You can see it with oil. You can see it everywhere. So here we can see, let me show you. Okay, so this is the interest rates that have been increased in the past several months. And, you know, the numbers are terrible. You know, the numbers are terrible. However, the increase rate of the numbers is slowing down. For example, here you can see that they raised 75, here 50, now 25. So as long as the interest rate decreases, from 50 to 25 or from 75 to 50, this is good for the market. However, these numbers are not good at all, just like with the CPI. The economy is, in a very terrible state. However, even if the market is at a terrible state, as long as the market keeps growing, as long as crypto keeps growing, your stocks keep growing, that's good for your purchasing power. Because imagine that we only had the US dollar and we couldn't place it on Bitcoin or Apple or whatever, then your money would just be going down. So by having Bitcoin or Apple or gold, yes, your purchasing power is going down, but it's holding its value a little bit extra by putting it on assets that appreciate in value. And the reason why they appreciate in value is because there's demand, there's scarcity, and there's utility. And the US dollar does not have that. Right now there's no demand because we're just printing money out of thin air, and it's not scarce because we're printing money out of thin air, and it has no utility because people no longer want to buy oil with the US dollar because they're tired of the US printing money out of thin air. So regardless that the actual numbers are starting to slow down a little bit, the US dollar is as weak as, I don't think I've ever seen the US dollar as weak as it is right now. And if there's no improvements from the government, from the Fed, and from all the governing agencies, things are just going to get worse. So hopefully,
there's not going to be.
Exactly. What we got to do right now is we got to be more friendly with other countries. I guess it's time to recognize that it's not 1943, a couple of decades ago, where you can just overpower your rivals. Right now, we're living on a time where it's more about finding solutions and finding ways to cooperate with other countries. So my point is that if we don't find solutions to be more friendly, more cooperative with other countries, foreign investment and local investment is just going to go elsewhere. People are tired of the SEC. They're tired of the government. They're tired of everything that's going right now. And they're just going to go to Singapore. They're going to go to Dubai. They're going to go to places where, rules are more user-friendly. The government is more user-friendly, and they're not just all over your money and your value. They're more about growing together and, evolution, artificial intelligence, and just growing overall. So that's not the case right now in the US. We can see that things are going sideways right now. There's a lot of issues. And if we don't make friendlier rules and friendlier, ways for the market, that money is just going to go elsewhere. And, instead of making America great again, it's just not going to happen. So hopefully, in the next coming months, we're going to see new regulations that are more user-friendly, and we're going to see, new ideas that help the economy grow. So before we move to another topic, because we wanted to talk about some of these regulations, I just want to point out something real quick with the price of Bitcoin, or what I'm expecting for the near future. So in the previous cycle, we hit an all-time high, like a 20K, and then an all-time low at 3K. If we use the Fibonacci retracement here, I actually have it set up. We can see that we touched here the golden pocket almost perfectly. And we also reached the 38% line perfectly. So what I'm expecting for the market for the next cycle, I'm expecting this movement almost identically. So if if the government decreases the interest rates and the inflation numbers are still low for the next 6 months, I am expecting that we're gonna see the same. I am expecting we're gonna see this level here, and I'm expecting that we're gonna see this level over here, and most likely then we're gonna have a retracement, and then we're gonna full send it to the moon. So yeah, I mean, like I always tell my friends, the way to the top of the mountain is not on a straight line. So investing in crypto and investing on the market is not to just buy and you sell it and you're rich. There's going to be days that the market is going to go down, and it's going to test you as a person. It's going to test your nerves. It's going to test your decision making. And you just gotta, you gotta be strong, and you gotta have a good understanding of what moves the market and a good technical analysis. If you have this, you're set, because it's just about being patient. There's an old saying, I think it's from Warren Buffett, that says that the market is a transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient. So you just gotta, have faith, look for good projects, look for projects that are solving problems, and as long as that project is solving problems, it's just a matter of waiting. So many of these projects are solving problems, like the Meta One coin, Bitcoin, Phantom, other cryptocurrencies. They're solving problems, and there's going to be demand and there's going to be utility because they're actually solving problems. So yeah, that's what I wanted to let you guys know about the movement of the market. Real quick, I just want to share with you guys that the Meta One coin is as strong as ever. We recently reached all-time high it was on February February the 9th. We reached $425 right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, so it's all-time high. Amazing. We keep growing. Right now we're at 419. I think it's a little bit far away. Yeah, let's leave it at 419, but we keep growing. So the Meta One coin is as healthy as ever. We keep growing. We're also solving problems. We're bringing utility, and I mean, it's gonna be an amazing year, 2023. Justin, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, Meta is the place to be if you want to preserve your wealth. I mean, we're talking about all this deflationary stuff, and we've created a model that actually holds your value. You don't have to devalue, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I would argue that that's way better than stocks. I mean, or any of these old school legacy systems that, unfortunately, the biggest problem with the stock market is that it's very corrupt and it's very rigged.
Yeah,
And if you're a small person in that space, you're not going to win. You may have a few wins here and there, but even these days, pension funds and 401ks and all that boring stuff that doesn't really work is they're seeing less and less returns as well, because it's just a harder and harder market to
yeah,
actually make money in. And so yeah, there's a lot of exciting things that are happening in this year with Meta, and we just continue to grow and expand and create this new financial system that are for people who want transparency, freedom, abundance, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, if you're listening to us for the first time, check out the white paper and the website and dive in. And if you're a member who's been with us for a long time, then we're so excited, because you're literally one of the first adopters, and you're starting here at an amazing place where we have barely gotten started. So I'm really excited about a lot of things, and it's going to be a great year. But yeah, I mean, the reason why we exist is exactly what's happening with BUSD and Paxos, and how the lesson that we continue to learn over and over again is that it doesn't matter how you play the rules. There is a war going on against things that eradicate corruption, including blockchain. and the government weaponizes the media, and they weaponize the special interest groups, and they weaponize the three-letter agencies to go after projects and groups of people who are proliferating tools and technology like blockchain that was literally born and created to eradicate what they thrive off of.
Yeah.
So the newest saga is BUSD, which I'm sure you've been following this story, Fernando. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm aware of the situation, and it's total BS because it makes no sense. Even if you try to comply with the SEC and the Fed, and you follow all the rules and you're doing everything as they request to not get into any issues, they still find a way to make you a criminal. They still find a way to make you like you're doing something wrong, when in reality you're not doing anything wrong. The problem is that they understand that they're losing power, and by letting blockchain technology thrive, it's gonna be over for the old system where, trust me, just trust me, I'm doing the best. And blockchain eradicates that. Blockchain is no, just trust your people, just trust your government. No, blockchain, if you told me how to describe blockchain in a sentence, blockchain is the way we eradicate trust with math. So let's say that I'm a government official from the US, and I'm doing deals with someone in China. We both know that there's corruption in China and there's corruption in the US. So if I wanted to do business with you, I have to go through the process of trusting you, and let's see how it goes, And unfortunately, that's human nature. That's the way businesses have been conducted for centuries. That they're based on trust. And, sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't. But by replacing trust with blockchain technology, I no longer have to trust you or in anyone, because the ledger does the trusting process for everyone. Everything is immutable, and it's 100% transparent. This means that you can access the information of the ledger from anywhere in the world, from a computer, from a phone, from a tablet, from a watch, and the information is immutable. This means that it cannot be altered. It's not with a centralized system that you're a bank and you go into the ledger and you change the information and nobody knows about it, because it's not transparent and it's not immutable. And the reason why it's immutable is because in order to change the information, you need to hack all the computers in the world that hold the information from the blockchain in less than 15 minutes. So it is impossible, unless you're an AI god or an extraterrestrial or someone with quantum technology, to hack all the computers in the world in 15 minutes. It's over for you. So it's over for all these government officials that are corrupt, but that manipulate information, that steal. It's over. And that's why they are so scared, because the moment you, me, and everyone start demanding the use of blockchain technology, is the moment that they lose their power.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and this is why this is happening.
Yeah, it's 100% why it's happening. I mean, I think I've used this analogy before. Imagine if there was a blockchain that the government had to use for all internal government transactions, and that blockchain was available to anyone who wanted to go on Explorer and look at where their tax dollars are going. That would just eradicate and end corruption tomorrow. This is the reason why they don't want this. This is the reason why they're trying to get their hands in, because number one, it's a revenue stream for them. So if they're able to regulate, they make money from regulation. Second of all, it is also a means of control to, throw CBDCs in our face and call them cryptocurrencies, to shape and model this system so that anything that is not accepted by them and is not regulated by them is going to get thrown out the window. And this is exactly what's going on. So this is a very interesting story. For those of you who don't know, Binance USD is a stable coin. It is actually not created by Binance itself. It is actually created by a company called Paxos, and they have an agreement with Binance to use their brand, basically. So it's pegged to the US dollar, just like USDT, USDC. It's a pretty popular stable coin. I would say it's probably second most popular behind USDT. And it's pretty high up there in CoinMarketCap. And so basically, since the FX fiasco, the government has upped their war on crypto and blockchain, and they're going after pretty much everyone they can get their hands on. So
Yeah.
Paxos has been I just want to preface this with Paxos is one of the most audited and regulated companies in the space. They have gone above and beyond, if you want to talk about regulation, and following every rule to the letter. Okay. And so last week, I believe it was, the SEC issued a Wells notice. What a Wells notice is basically the intent to file some kind of enforcement action, usually legal action, with the claim that Binance USD is a unregulated security. This is what they use against everybody. And it's the beginning of the character assassination technique and strategy that they use. Watch them start coming out about articles in the media about the CEO or the founder of Paxos, and he did this and he did that. This is how it starts, and this is the tactic they use over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So Paxos has come out and basically said, we vehemently disagree and we're going to litigate the shit out of this. So that's really awesome. Hats off to Paxos for that. But what do you think about this, Fernando?
I think this is terrible for the American economy because, like I was saying previously, all they're doing is getting all the smart money out of the States. So everyone, all tech companies, all foreign investment, when they realize that the American people, not the people, the government, when they realize that the American government is not about abundance, is not about growth, is not about new technologies, it's all about control, they're gonna be, why do I want to even be here? They're just gonna be like, hey, let's just go to better places like Singapore, that they have their rules straight up, and you can go to a website and see what do you have, the permits that you need to have in order to create a cryptocurrency, or open a new tech, whatever. Or they're gonna go to Dubai, and it's just ridiculous because the reason I read a lot about the case, and the reason that they're saying that they want to cancel Binance USD or whatever is because they say it's a security. And I mean, it doesn't make sense because Binance USD is a dollar. It's the tokenized representation of a US dollar. So what they're saying pretty much is that it is a security, because if you place your Binance USD in your wallet, you can get like 3% APY on your money. That's exactly the same function that the US dollar has in a bank account. If you leave your money in a bank account and you put it like in with a fund manager or whatever, you get like 3 or 2% APY, which is nothing, not even enough to beat inflation. But it's the same thing. So if you're saying that Binance USD is a security, you're saying that the US dollar is a security. So it makes no sense whatsoever. And regardless, how are we going to beat inflation? So we're seeing that in the past 2 years, the US dollar lost about 150% purchasing power. How are we going to beat inflation with 2%, 3% APY on the US dollar or Binance USD? The only thing that we're trying to do is to find a way to, protect ourselves from the nothingness of the government. This is ineptitude. I mean, they don't know how to run the show. They don't know how to run the circus. They don't know how to run the economy, or maybe they do, and they know that by doing what they're doing, they're just gonna make us all poor, and have more control over us.
That's
I'm not,
exactly what it is, man. It's
I mean,
enslavement. It's they know what they're doing. This is not, this is why when people walk around and go, "Oh, Biden's an idiot," and blah blah blah, and he craps
yeah,
his pants on TV and falls over. It's it's not. This is acting. They're not.
yeah,
This is playing the fool. It's not the real deal what's going on behind the scenes. They know what they're doing, and this is why we're building what we're building at Meta One, and this is why
yeah,
we are using the technology in the way that we believe it was created for, to eradicate corruption. We have tried this system over and over again of hoping and praying that the governments of the world are actually going to put forth regulation that opens up doors for innovation and growth in economies and in technology in the blockchain space. And it doesn't happen over and over again because of the fact that that's not what they want. It's not even just the United States, it's around the world, because what is the biggest tool for enslavement that they use on this planet? It's the financial system. It is
absolutely.
it is money, and that is how they enslave people. So
Yeah,
we like to talk about topics that are real on this podcast. We also like to talk about topics that are positive, and I know that there are some people out there who are like, well, why are we beating this horse? And the reason why we're beating this horse is more people need to be aware of this, because it's not about focusing on the negative, but it's about focusing on the realities of what's going on. And that this technology, if harnessed and really pulled in by humanity, can eradicate this kind of behavior. But we all have to
yes,
unify and come together, and we all have to realize that the government is not our friend, and they are not going to do the things that they want us to do, and we have to take it into our own hands. And this is the reason
absolutely.
why we are doing what we're doing. It's the reason why we're one of the only blockchain projects that have come up against the SEC, and we have told them to F off, literally. And we are building a network and a financial system for humanity that anybody can use, and that is transparent and abundant. That's all. I mean, these things that we talk about here of what we all want they're really simple. It's like, we want security, we want safety, we want to be able to grow our family in a peaceful environment, and we want to be abundant, and we don't want to be stifled and enslaved by regulation. It's really pretty simple.
Yeah. We're not
Um,
asking for much, we're just asking to be treated as human beings. And
yeah,
apparently that's asking for too much.
yeah. I mean, apparently that's asking for too much. I'm not really sure, but
It's
you
not. I mean,
know,
it's ridiculous. It's
the thing
ridiculous.
is it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
100% it's ridiculous, and it's very it's not okay. It's not okay whatsoever. And people need to decide what side they're on. That's all I got to say. It's time for that. We can't be playing these games anymore. We need to come together, and we need to help each other. It's like, that's the thing, is like, when well, for example, Robert and I got to go to Quantum Miami. I talked about this last time. And the beautiful thing that I loved about this was that this community that came to this conference, it wasn't about competition. They weren't talking about, oh, this project sucks and my project's better and all of these things. They were collaborating. We all want the same thing in the space. We want to have this freedom. This is the reason why. And even though there was too much talk about regulation, I believe, at this conference, and the 800-pound elephant in the room was not addressed, which is the fact that the governments don't care about us, and that they're not going to give us regulation. We have to do something different. But the conversations we had behind the scenes were the exact opposite of that. They were, we know that this is the case, and we need assistance with that. So it's really like, just it's really just something that everyone has to get involved in their own way. And I'm really excited for the future, because I really think that we're building something incredible. So
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you, so what do you think should be, because I know that a lot of people right now are getting rid of Binance USD. It might survive, it might not, I don't know. But if we look at the graph here, we can see that from 22 billion, almost 23 on a month ago, now we're at 13 billion. So they almost lost 0.5% of all the money invested on Binance USD.
Mhm.
So what do you think? Like, where should people take their money now? Like, should they take them to USDC? I just saw that apparently they're going after USDC as well, because Circle, the company that prints USDC, is also a company regulated in the States and complying with everything, but it's in the US. So now they're going after them as well. I don't know if they're gonna go full force after them, because they work with Coinbase, and Coinbase works hand by hand, with the SEC. But I heard rumors that they're going after them now, and the only other option is Tether, which, in my opinion, I think Tether is the best option, because not only does it have the highest market cap, it's the oldest stable coin in blockchain, and also of these three major blockchains is the only one that was not created in the United States. So at the end of the day, they operate under different jurisdictions, and at the end of the day, if whatever happens, they can just say like, hey, we're not in the US, right? And USDC is their parent company is Circle, which is a company in the US, and Binance USD is their parent company is Paxos, which is a company in the US. So like I said, I think that a lot of the smart money, a lot of the people that understand what's going on, they're just going to move their business elsewhere. And this is going to be terrible, terrible, terrible for the American economy, because they're gonna stay back. Other countries like Dubai, I'm sorry, with like in the Middle East, that they're gonna get better, and they're gonna have more updated technology with blockchain, AI, and it's just gonna be terrible for the States. I don't know what you think.
Man. I mean, I don't. To be honest, I don't like any stable coin that's connected to fiat currency. I don't think it's, because honestly, it's like the whole concept of it's backed by air, right? So really,
Yeah,
you think about it, we could have a Venezuela event, and your $1 million in the bank could be worth $2 the next day.
absolutely.
And your USDT is going to be worth $2.
Exactly.
So I don't honestly I think that Meta One is an amazing alternative
Yeah,
as a stable coin.
absolutely.
Backed by gold, actually having real backing and appreciating, and the way that we've implemented this mechanism of not being able to sell your coin for less than asset value, being smart contracts, is guarantees that or as close to as you can get that kind of stability. Because at the end of the day, what's going to happen if the fiat currencies of the world collapses? Basically what's going to happen is everyone's going to start using gold more and silver more.
Exactly.
and that's exactly what we're doing here. We're basically just utilizing blockchain as a avenue and a way to distribute gold in a more plausible way. Because the bottom line is that there's no way that we're ever going back to the days where we're all carrying around gold bars and gold coins and
Yeah,
here
of
you
course.
go. I mean, that just doesn't create a sustainable economy. So
Yeah,
yeah, man. I think that if people want to check out more and more, check out Meta One. And I see that more and more often, especially with what's happening here, is that these people are basically going around and destroying or going after these projects, and then people are going like, where do I go? I have no idea where to
yeah,
go or what to do. So
I agree.
anyways, but
I
yeah,
was gonna
man.
ask you, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about DAI? So apparently DAI is a stable coin with a high market cap, 5 billion, that's a lot. and they say that every coin is backed by an asset. So it's not backed by the US dollar. It's backed, I believe, by, you know, real estate, oil, food, and I don't know 100% how it works, but apparently this is a different form of index coin. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. We need a currency that's backed by gold and you know, by other forms of assets. But at the end of the day, how do we measure the value of gold? You know, we need to have an index coin that measures the value of everything against each other.
Right.
And for now, that index coin is the US dollar, but the US dollar is backed by nothing. So, you know, they're just printing the US dollar, and then they're causing inflation, and they're just making the value of assets very volatile because they're just printing money out of thin air. So then there's, I don't know a lot about DAI, but from what I've heard, this is like an index currency that every dollar printed is backed by some sort of other asset. Could be gold, could be oil, could be, you know, I don't know, other stuff. Have you heard about this coin?
I have, yeah. You know, I think that DAI and the concept of DAOs. DAO, for everyone, is stands for oh my gosh, no, it's something
I think it's a centralized autonomous
yeah, there we
organization.
go. Decentralized autonomous organization. It's really cool. It's a really cool concept. I mean, basically, the idea is like, let's just say a group of people wanted to create like a constitution, for example, and they all agreed that they wanted to follow that constitution. And then they basically are using, you know, smart contract technology and other technologies within blockchain to basically run that specific, let's say, network according to those constitution rules. But it's all decentralized and it's all autonomous, so no human has to be involved in it whatsoever, and it just, the computer just you know, has these rules, and the rules can't be changed unless
Smart contracts.
all the smart contracts. So unless the humans actually decide that they all want to you know, collectively agree to change something, it can't be changed, and it just operates like that, and it's really freaking cool. I
Yeah.
love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. No, and that's one of the like I was saying previously, that we need to demand our governors, our representatives, to use blockchain technology, not just for finance, but for governance.
Yeah.
Because the moment we demand, you know, our government, hey, the elections, they gotta be on blockchain. You know, the moment we demand that the elections take place on blockchain, that moment we stop having this whole fiasco that the Russians, that they, I don't know what they're saying they did, that they interfered in the elections, and you know, the same BS that we've seen over and over from Obama, from, you know, from Trump, from Biden. There's always this debate that there was some sort of interference with the elections, and I'm sure there was. You know, I'm sure, because we know how they are, you know. But the moment we demand from the government, like, hey, okay, you want to be transparent, you want a fair game, you know, let's just use blockchain. And the moment we all educate ourselves on what blockchain is, and we start demanding our representatives to use blockchain, that's the moment we save the planet. That's the moment we save the economy. That's the moment we save our freedom, our values, our humanity, because things will not be based on, oh, trust me, bro, like they say. No, it's gonna be, everything's going to be on paper, everything's going to be transparent, and it's just going to take us to a better place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, absolutely, 100%. Well, we are just about at the end of time, but appreciate everyone listening today, and we are excited for the future. And you know, I think just remember, you know, continue to share the powerful information about blockchain and how it can change the world with everybody, and help wake people up in that way. And you know, hopefully we'll get to a place of mass consciousness where there'll be enough people together that we will change the tide here, which we're already doing in communities like Meta and many others, to transition us over to a more freedom, abundance-based world. And that's the foundation that we're building. So Fernando, do you have any final words?
Just that I hope everyone enjoyed this podcast, and we'll see you next week.
All right, everybody, take care. Thanks so much.